Fast. Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm going to present on what is the current cybercrime trends now in the Philippines. Okay, after this presentation, my goal is to provide everyone an idea on what is the current cybercrime trend, the prevalent cybercrime and the reason of increase, hindrances on investigation, the good part, and the future outlooks. So, what is the current trend? Okay, the current trend is going up. So what does it mean? It means that the cyber threats are constantly evolving because they need to take advantage of the online behavior and the trends. And the current pandemic is no exception. The cyber criminals are actively attacking the computer networks, systems, individual businesses, and even global organizations at a time when everyone is shifting their focus from being a cyber savvy person, now being a health conscious person. What happens now that's a recent pandemic? Now we have suddenly become reliant on services that allows us to work from home and learn from home. Likewise, we are now practicing social distancing. And as a result, we are now more on trend on a video application apps on conversing with everyone and messaging. So as of now, there's the rise of, for example, there's a rise of web seminars or webinars. Okay, the COVID-19 pandemic renders individual society extremely vulnerable in all aspects. As I mentioned earlier, everyone now is dependent on the internet, the way how we communicate, how we work, how we share our ideas. Everyone is tied up to the internet. So, what are the current cybercrime incidents for as this COVID situation? Number one, we have the phishing, SIM swap, PPE scams, child porn, business email compromise, nuisance scammers, and perception wars. Okay. So number one, phishing. As you can see, I think there has been a strong growth of phishing threats for the past few months. Actually, the January, we only have 5 to 10 cases, but as soon as the pandemic arises, this 5 to 10 cases rises to 30 to 60 and 200s. So imagine the percentage of increase. It's more than 200%. Why is that so? Well, I always talk about the COVID-19 pandemic as a phishing season. Bakit po? Well, more people are now inclined to work, to purchase, to transact online. Hence, yun po yung nagiging trend right now. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, people are now engaged on working on the internet. However, at this stage, threat actors or negative opportunists saw this chance to have have their financial gain. Hackers and fisher alike have enjoyed the season of pandemic. I mean, to get more victims. We always treat hackers and fisher as related because the action and intention are almost the same. It may not have been always financial gain, but at the end of the spectrum, they always need to prove or gain on something. So now, why are we having this trend right now? Because at the advent of the internet, international hackers and local-based foreign threat actors are now has the capacity to share. There are a lot of foreign groups, foreign forums, chat groups, when they are allowed to share their ideas to everyone. And the opportunity increases because they're able to recruit people, foreigners and local people to act as their mule. Syempre, pag nang-hack sila, they want to separate themselves from the funds that from the action that they have done. So to shield themselves from being caught, they would try to lure potential mules as a person to engage on, the withdrawals, paano i-transfer yung pera. So they're now becoming more organized and syndicated. Okay, this is the common forms of phishing. First is as you can see, the social media phishing, where they try to create a fake website that looks like a legitimate social media website. But if you look carefully at the URL, it's very different. Like if you see the top part, it's Facebook, but if you see this one, the URL, it's different. So what is this? What is the aim of this phishing site? It's to collect Facebook data, your credential in accessing Facebook data, for them to have an access on your account. And again, once they have the access to your account, makukuha na nila yung gusto nilang makuha, and they would use it against you. Also, in the rise of this pandemic, we encountered a lot of bank phishing scams. So what are these? These are phishing scams done by hackers and fishers alike that uses a fake bank website that portrays almost genuine website. So pag hindi ka marunong tumingin ng website, you will be fooled. Nakala mo legitimate yung website na inaano mo, you're accessing. So at the time you access those websites, mabibigay mo yung bank credential details mo. So at the end of the day, when they have access to those, they can freely transfer funds or withdraw funds without your authorization. Another crime that increases during this pandemic is the online scams. As you can see, there are a lot of reports and a lot of actions by the law enforcement on this online fraud scams. Well, at the rise of this fraud scam, at the rise of this pandemic, nagkaroon ng increase of necessity sa mga masks, hand sanitizers, and medicine na nag-procure daw ng COVID-19. So, dumami yung mga opportunities on this one. Since alam nila na merong opportunity to earn, minsan ang ating the public unknowingly are becoming more vulnerable. Kasi nagmamadali tayong maka-purchase and we forget to check if we are indeed engaging on a legitimate person or a website. Third largest happening during this pandemic is the rise of fake news. As you can see, almost on the past few weeks and months, ang daming fake news na lumabas. One classic example is the fake news about a certain hospital, wherein they reported that there was a huge numbers of body bags that's been scattered along just the hallway of the hospitals. But through verification, we found out that the video was not here in the Philippines. Actually, it's situated abroad. So nagkaroon ng temporary panic and fear on the people. So again, ito yung mga nag-rise during the pandemic issue. Next is the misinformation and fake news spread by troll and fake media accounts. This is the ongoing trend right now. Everyone is entitled to create their own social media accounts. However, there are issues that need to be tackled. Unfortunately, at this point, anyone anonymously can create an account, and anyone can create multiple accounts. So ito yung nag-give rise dun sa mga trolls and opportunists, because they see now as a social media is a very powerful tool. You can convince a person. You can create a fear. You can create fake news. Actually, that is what we call right now as perception wars. In the advent of pandemic, the coming elections, everyone is trying to mold the minds and individual to a certain point that they would like. for their own advantage. So ngayon, we are expecting to the rise of troll account. However, as countermeasure, the law enforcement, NBI, and PNP alike, we are always coordinating with the social media website on what are the internal controls in so far as to this troll accounts. The troll accounts would be there, but again, there's always going to be an action on it, and we are always coordinating with the social media websites such as Facebook on what are the aspects, what are the trends, so that here on our country we could have a device that would allow us to report and to take notice and to take the important details of these fake social media accounts. Sample of fake social media accounts. Well, as you can see, during the past few days, past few weeks, there were death threats to the president. There were a lot of trolls doing this negative information. So again, there is a problem on this social media trolls. Why such things are pretty prevalent? Again and again, as I always mention, the current internet was introduced to the people as a form of way to have fun. Hence, the internet EQ and IQ natin is started on a low level. Internet was not shared to us as a form of education or a form of research. It was introduced as a form of entertainment. But the shift and focus right now of the government, along with the different institutions, we're trying to introduce the internet EQ and IQ. Okay. Again, I know every one of us has been we know some people who have been engaged in cybercrime, have been a victim or have been attacked by cyber criminals. There are issues that we have raised earlier during the presentation of like our good justice and spokesperson from DOJ. Okay, as a law enforcement officer, we have also day to day we have met this hindrances. One of it is jurisdiction issues. As you can see, social medias, their servers are located outside of the Philippines. Hence, accessibility on information whenever we need it are sometimes hampered. We have to take on consideration the help from DOJ and ask through MLAT that if we need something coming from a foreign company which is situated outside the Philippines. Another issue is the complexity of cyber issues and its ever-growing trends. For example, sa phishing, we have already deciphered some of the codes they use when they do phishing on social media site and bank websites. However, again, hackers have more time on the marami silang oras to innovate. Kasi nga, yun lang yung ginagawa nila. So again, it's important for us law enforcers to have this day-to-day appraisal and growth on how we handle this cyber issues. Next, and the most popular one, is difficulty of gathering evidences. You know, this now you see it, now you don't. Yung mga posts natin sa internet, yung ephemeral nature nila, sometimes nakita natin yan, mamaya madidelete. So we're having trouble on presenting it to court. Because sometimes we could not prove something when we don't have a proper evidence to show that it exists. Yun ang nagiging problema natin. Sometimes yung mga posts, videos, they can be easily deleted. We can do, we advise the people to take some step, but again, day to day, sometimes pupunta yung tao sa amin na meron pong posting na ganito. Then pag meron pong parang libelous statement against me. But when we check it on the internet, at a few minutes after that, wala na yung post. So nagkakaroon ng problema if we're going to present sa court yung existence ng account. Okay, ano ba yung ginagawa namin on how to fight those hindrances? Number one is properly preserve electronic evidence. Okay, when you do a screenshot, make as much as possible, yung screenshot contains the URL. For example, in Facebook, nandun yung www.facebook.com. Why? At least mapoprove natin yung existence ng post. Law enforcement such as NBI and PNP, we have this access to Facebook called law enforcement page, wherein pag merong very urgent na cybercrime, nabibigyan naman kami ng tulong. For example, merong terrorism attack, child pornography, or imminent harm or death, we could easily get that from Facebook as long that you have a proper preserved electronic evidence or screenshot containing the offense and the URL of it. Likewise, we also need during presentation of evidence in a court hearing is the image copy of the needed computer data. Yan, mami, dyan nag-rise yung mga warrant kanina as discussed by the good justice and Angeline from DOJ. There's whenever we go to court, we need to have a credible copy of what is contained on a computer device. We don't use the computer device itself, but we only use the credible copy of that device or exact copy. Pag diniscuss natin, mas mahaba pa yun. But again, what ang pinipresent namin sa court is the exact copy of what is inside a computer device. Yung computer device na yun will undergo a digital forensic examination. There we get, again, number 3, logs and lot of computer logs. There we study the logs, tingnan namin kung ano ba yung access na nangyari doon, what happened there, sino ang, at what point siya nagkaroon ng compromise, at what point nag-exist yung illegal computer data. Yun yung silbi ng logs. And then after that, we will have a digital forensic result. This will have an background on everything that happens as we complied all the logs that we get and all the images that we get. At the time that we get these forensic reports, we will also get support from associated agencies and institutions. Ano ba yan? At that time, we seek their help to authenticate yung mga result namin. There are instances namin, nakuha kaming digital evidence, and we need them to help us to explain those digital evidences. Okay, despite of all the current situation, the increase of these technicalities, I always call this the rise of cyber friends. Okay, what are these cyber friends? This is the people from different walks of life now understanding that there's a need to reevaluate and to enhance the current cybercrime tackling issues. So ngayon, there is well, as discussed earlier, there are type of cybercrime warrant. However, as our practice, we only use the 3 warrants: warrant to seize and secure examine computer data, warrant to examine computer data, warrant to disclose computer data. So again, on the practicality side, what are the difference of these 3 warrants? As to warrant to seize and secure examine computer data, this is the type of warrant when we applied when the device is not yet on our possession. Yun nga, so magkakaroon ka pa ng actual raid, magkakaroon ka ng actual possession taking ng iyong warrant. So we go to court with our affidavit and the complainant and the pieces of evidence we required, and we apply this warrant. And pag nag-grant kami, isi-serve namin yung warrant, we will seize the computer device, and we will do forensic examination. There are 2 types of forensic examination. There's on-site and off-site. Sa on-site kasi, if it's possible, we will do the imaging and the analysis on-site. Halimbawa, masyadong maliit lang naman yung computer data, it's a few gigabyte, we will use our portable tools to do the examination. However, kung isi-seize namin is hundreds of hard disks, hard drives, what we'll do is that we will get those hard drives and bring them to our digital forensic lab. Okay. The second type of warrant is warrant to examine computer data. Ito naman, we use this on devices that already at our possession. Ano ba yan? For example, this is devices that we seize during warrantless arrest. For example, may entrapment, During the entrapment, sinis namin yung kanyang phone. Again, as explained earlier, hindi naman namin pwedeng buksan yon. So what we do, we apply a warrant to examine computer data to a court for us to have an authority to open the said device and examine the contents of it. So pag nakuha namin yung contents niyan to digital forensic, we will then submit it to court as part of our evidence. Another commonly used type of warrant is a warrant to disclose computer data. This is a type of warrant that orders an institution or individual to disclose a computer data on their system. Most of the times we use this warrant sa mga telcos. Halimbawa, in a case there is a need for an information regarding this subscriber IP, so ito yung ina-apply namin sa court. So we are asking the court to grant us an authority to order someone to provide us logs of that IP. We also use this on the request we made on social media companies such as Facebook. But again, this warrant is served together with the authority coming from the Office of the Cybercrime of DOJ. In addition, pag nag-a-apply kami ng warrant, it always is supported by the affidavit of the law enforcement agency, the complainant, and the pieces of evidence acquired or available. Again, with all of this, at the end of the day, it's going how we stop cybercrime, how we control it, and we could not stop it 100%, but we aim to control. We aim to control it on a reasonable level. So how do we control it? It starts from the grassroots. I always do believe that internet culture is important when we tackle or fight cybercrime. Kasi kailangan natin na matutunan on a deep down level na this is something different. We should not do this. If the people have this high internet culture, madali nilang gawin kung ano yung mga internet etiquette. For example, backing up online and offline regularly, strengthening your home network, use your strong password, keep software updated. You control what you shared in the internet. As long as you have a proper internet culture, yung cyber safety check is very easy. Again, at the outlook, as I end this presentation, everyone needs to be extra cautious, especially the security measures on cybercrime. Likewise, intercultural awareness enhancement is always necessary. And a nationwide campaign on the proper internet usage be disseminated not only on the government level, but also on the public sector. Hand-in-hand interaction between the government and the public is necessary. Hindi po namin kaya itong mag-isa lang. So as much as we wish, we always hope that there is a cooperation between public people, the public sector, to share information to the government. Yan kasi we do have problems on that kasi sometimes public individuals, even though they are victimized by cybercrime, they don't report it because they take it as a nuisance. But again, it is important for us to have those data kasi on those data, hindi natin alam, doon natin malalaman yung mga incident na how we could catch those cyber criminals. Thank you very much po.